sad times. The people we feel embarrassed about as children are the same people we become most proud of as adults. This is a story about a boy and the lunchbox his father carried every single day. When Ryan was 12 years old, he hated one thing more than anything else: his father's job. Ryan's father, Thomas, was a street food vendor. Every morning, long before the sun came up, Thomas would wake up to prepare sandwiches and tea that he sold outside a big office building. He carried an old dented metal lunchbox with him everywhere he went. Inside, he kept his simple meals for the day. To Thomas, that lunchbox meant survival. But to Ryan, it meant embarrassment. At school, Ryan's friends had parents who were doctors, engineers, and businessmen. They drove nice cars and wore expensive clothes. Ryan's father, on the other hand, wore an old, faded jacket and pushed a small, rickety food cart. Ryan often prayed that his classmates would never, ever see his father. But one afternoon, that prayer went unanswered. Ryan was walking home from school with his friends, laughing and joking around. Suddenly, one of them pointed and shouted, "Hey, look! There's a street food cart." Ryan looked up, and his heart sank. It was his father. Thomas's face lit up with a warm smile when he saw Ryan. He called out, "Ryan, come here, son." But Ryan froze. His friends were all watching, and he could feel their curious eyes on him. One of them laughed. "Wait, is that your dad?" Ryan felt his face burning with shame. The words tumbled out of his mouth before he could stop them. "No, I don't know him." Those words hit Thomas like a physical blow. For just a moment, his smile vanished. But he quickly recovered, gave a quiet nod, and turned back to serving his customers. Ryan walked away, pretending nothing had happened, his heart pounding in his chest. But that night, when he came home, something felt different. His father was unusually quiet during dinner, barely saying a word. Ryan's eyes landed on the old lunchbox sitting on the table. For the very first time, he wondered how heavy it must feel for his father to carry it every single day. Years passed. Ryan finished school and moved to another city for university. The distance made him slowly forget many things from his childhood. But one day, he received a phone call that changed everything. It was a neighbor from his hometown. "Ryan, your father collapsed while working today." Ryan's heart dropped. He didn't even pack a bag. He just grabbed his wallet and ran to the bus station. He took the first bus home, his mind racing with worry. When he finally arrived at the hospital, he saw his father lying in bed, looking weak but conscious. And right there, on the bedside table, sat the same old metal lunchbox. Slowly, almost reverently, Ryan picked it up. It was scratched and worn from years of constant use. He opened it, expecting to find a leftover meal, but instead, he found something completely unexpected. Inside were dozens and dozens of small, folded pieces of paper. Curious, Ryan unfolded one. In his father's familiar handwriting, it said, "Ryan's school fees save money." He opened another. "Ryan's university dream, don't give up." Ryan's hands started to shake. There were hundreds of these notes. Each one was a small, powerful reminder Thomas had written to himself while working long hours, saving every penny for his son's future. In that moment, a painful realization washed over Ryan. While he was so deeply ashamed of his father's work, his father was incredibly proud to work every single day, just for him. Tears began to stream down Ryan's face, silent and hot. When Thomas woke up, he found Ryan sitting beside him. For the first time in years, Ryan reached out and held his father's hand. "Dad, I'm sorry," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. Thomas looked confused. "Sorry for what, son?" Ryan couldn't hold it in anymore. "The other day, I said I didn't know you." The room went silent. Thomas looked at him, his eyes full of a gentle, understanding love, and he smiled. "You were just a kid, Ryan." But Ryan shook his head, his tears falling onto their joined hands. "No, I was selfish." The very next morning, Ryan did something unexpected. He went to the same street corner where his father had sold food for so many years, cleaned the cart until it shined and started preparing sandwiches, serving the morning customers. When people asked why he was there, he looked them in the eye and said proudly, "This is my father's cart." Later that evening, Ryan returned to the hospital, carrying the old lunchbox. He placed it carefully beside his father and said, "Dad, this is the most valuable thing we own." 2. Thomas looked at his son, his eyes gleaming with pride. And in that moment, Ryan finally understood something profound. The job his father did was never small. The love behind it was enormous. Sometimes, we only realize the true value of our parents after we've grown up. If your parents have ever worked hard for you, don't forget to say thank you to them today. Say, "Thanks for watching." And if this story touched your heart, please subscribe for more.